Well, days like today are perfect to just cozy up and dive into a new book.
Today's page turners, the Champaign Public Library, they have got a great lineup to add to your summer reading list. Nanette Donahue is back with us. All right, we've got three great reads here that are just scream summer reading.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Which one do you want to start with?
We'll start with By Her Own Design. This is a book by Piper Hughley, and it is about the best fashion designer that you've never heard of. Her name was Anne Lowe, and she designed Jackie Kennedy's wedding dress.
Oh, for real?
Yes, but her name
wow.
has been largely lost to history. Now, she was born around the turn of the century in Alabama, and her mother and her grandmother were both exceptional seamstresses. They designed their own gowns, and they designed for a lot and sewed for a lot of folks who were wealthy Alabama socialites. Years later, Anne has learned the art of sewing. She's learned the art of designing, and a benefactor reaches out to her. She's noticed Anne's designs, and she reaches out and says, "I'd like you to come to Tampa and design for me and for my family." She had a lot of daughters who were all getting married, and she wanted, fancy bespoke wedding dresses for them. And so Anne travels to Tampa, and she starts designing for wealthy folks in Tampa. And the same benefactor sends her to New York City to attend design school, which is segregated, which was a really kind of awful experience for Anne. But soon enough, she is setting up shop in New York City. She worked at Saks Fifth Avenue as an in-house designer, and she designed for Jackie Kennedy and her family.
Wow. That's
That's
cool.
a really cool book. That sounds like something I would love to dive into.
It's super inspiring, and her perseverance is just amazing. It's such a great story.
Yeah,
Very good.
Very good. Okay, what's this next one here?
This is Acts of Violet by Margarita Montemor. Her book, Una Out of Order, was one of my favorites of 2020, so this is her follow-up. Violet Volk was a magician. In the 1990s, she had this act that blended magic and burlesque, and it became this cult sensation. But then, in the middle of one of her acts, she disappears. Without a trace, and nobody's ever been able to figure out what happened or where she went or what she did or if she's still alive or if she's dead. Her sister Sasha has kind of tried to distance herself from all of the Violet stuff because, with her disappearance, she's just become more and more prominent. And now it's the 10th anniversary of her disappearance, and there's a podcast that somebody's starting to record about Violet and her disappearance and her legacy and all that. And so this book is made of a bunch of different interesting little parts. So there's transcripts in the podcast, there's stuff from Sasha's point of view, there's magazine articles about Violet, and it's really interesting to watch all of it come together by the end. And it's kind of tied up really neatly. I thought it was a really fascinating read, great for people who like to work out a little puzzle.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now we got a sexy rom-com.
Oh, yes,
up
indeed.
for last.
I love this book. This is American Royalty by Tracy Livesey. And we've got a rapper who goes by the name of Duchess. Her name is Danielle. Think she's like a Megan Thee Stallion. She's really attractive. She's very provocative. But she knows that she's not going to be a rapper for the rest of her life. And so she's trying to move on to that next step. She's got a skincare line that she's really trying to develop. And then there's like a B-list pop star who's just trying to cause issues with Duchess. So when she gets this invite to appear at a concert in honor of the Queen of England's late husband, she jumps at that opportunity. It sounds great. It could be a career-defining move for her. Her host is Prince Jameson, the Queen's grandson. And thanks to a little housing snafu, she is staying in the same mansion with him. Now, it's large enough that they each have their own room, but there are some shared areas, and the more they interact, the more they realize that there are sparks there. And it is very steamy, and these characters are just delightful. I mean, even though they're really famous people, they're almost completely relatable, and it's a delight of a book. So anyone who likes rom-coms, definitely check this one out. It's
Great.
so good.
Sounds like the perfect beach read.
It really is.
Adults-only book.
Maybe, yeah. Okay, well, speaking of adults only, not necessarily. You've got some fun events coming up for the children.
Indeed.
So let's talk a little bit about Mother Goose.
Yeah, at the Hedge Pop Park on Thursdays from 5 to 7 p.m. through August 11th, we've got a visit from Mother Goose. This is going to be really fantastic. She'll do songs and stories. You can see the Goose Mobile, which is really awesome. And there'll also be book giveaways. So stop by, check out this new park, and check out our Mother Goose.
There you go. Okay, you've also got things happening with a local author, Molly McRae, coming, and your DIY kids happening at the Douglas Branch Library. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but all that information will be on SayLiving.tv. How about that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, definitely some great reads here for you to add to your reading list. Still time this summer to get into it. Look at their Facebook page. We'll connect you at SayLiving.tv.